Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to a truly special online event today. It's called Explore Interdimensional Psychic Healing. Protect yourself from technology overload with quantum codes from a higher dimension. My name is Stephen Dyna. I'm the founder and CEO of the Shift Network. And if you're like me, the recent months have been quite intense. And I think we're going to get some really important antidotes to some of that intensity today and understand it from a deeper level from one of the world's pioneers in energy healing, energy medicine, psychic development. Her name is Cyndi Dale. She's taught a lot of programs for Shift, each of which really opens new domains of understanding. And today we're going to really go dive deeper with her in looking at some of the effects of all of the online stuff, AI, EMFs, all of the ways that we're getting impacted in our consciousness and the ways that we can develop the antidotes to that and actually really thrive even in this era where there's so much that's coming at us from so many different directions. So with that said, if you like today and you want to go further, Cyndi has a brand new course. It's really going to be groundbreaking. It's called Interdimensional Psychic Energy Healing that we're going to share more about towards the end of the hour. So with that said, Cyndi, thank you so much for coming back again.
I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm really glad that we're talking about something that is negatively impacting so many of us, digital trauma.
Maybe share a little bit about why this subject for you personally has become really important, and that creates a little context for our dive into how to address it.
Yeah, well, I've been thinking about and actually trying to come up with antidotes or solutions for all of us for digital trauma for a few years. It actually became like a real necessity for me to really probe and do some research on it a few years ago when with the pandemic. People were so, kind of overwhelmed, what was true, what's not true. And I started going on even national media to talk about digital trauma. And I couldn't believe that people wanted me to talk about it, because here we were at home. What do we watch? What don't we watch? What is true? What's not true? And everybody was really asking that question. So there's been a lot of research, Stephen, since then that, it's not just too many emails, which was the problem maybe 10 years ago or 5 years ago, or still is. We know that EMF exposure really injures and causes problems with a lot of people's electrical system. We know there's catfishing, stalking, but with the advent, especially of AI, and we're just barraged all the time, a lot of us really do feel traumatized. And there's physical reactions to it. People don't even want to turn on the news, or they don't want to look at their iPhones, which isn't necessarily a bad thing all the time. But we don't know what's true or not, and that creates emotional challenges. Some people feel like they're having mental breakdowns. So for me, I've been adding the discussion of digital trauma to my repertoire of talking energetically about trauma, physical trauma, ancestral trauma, soul trauma, because we're on the upswinging and it's not going to go anywhere. We're just going to feel more and more distorted, and we've got to be able to get to the truth. And I work really hard to try to go through what's there and available through technology to find the nuggets of truth, but not find myself losing myself, in the distortion patterns that being exposed to.
So when we talk about digital trauma, I mean, so you have to kind of move beyond this like physical or even emotional kind of level. It's like you're really kind of getting at the root system of how there's manipulative forces that are trying to sculpt you in different directions that are not in alignment with your highest good. And so that creates a kind of consciousness trauma. And so maybe share a little bit about how does that show up energetically when you read somebody or perceive their field or what's happening to them?
Okay, excellent. So I'm gonna kind of start with that the basis of any kind of digital trauma goes down to beliefs or thoughts. But a belief is just an opinion. It doesn't mean it's true. It's an opinion. When you collect a lot of thoughts and put them together, it's like you have a pearl necklace that you could call it a thought form. When thought forms come together, you have a paradigm. When paradigms join together, you get patterns. When patterns get collected, you get these kind of collective consciousnesses. And I think ultimately what people are trying to fight or trying to work their way through from an energetic and a psychic perspective are these collective consciousnesses that can be formed and manipulated by institutions or groups of individuals. But I'll tell you, I think they also can collect entities, or what we would call dark forces, racism, genocide, sexism. And so I think that's why people are really concerned right now, because there's very real trackable sources for digital manipulation and technological overload. I mean, just too many emails, right? But I feel like there's like an invisible sourcing too that people sense, and they might feel kind of odd talking about it. Like, now I sound really paranoid, but it's not paranoid. It's part of what's happening. And so it's very easy to feel anything from sort of like dark, like you have a dark cloud around you when you get hit by kind of some of what's on the media and or the sense of it or the energetic cloud of it, to getting confused, to feeling ungrounded. And actually, it's like anything in the energy world, we tend to talk about how if something or someone's coming at you, you can actually get holes or punctures in your energetic field. And you lose energy, you get fatigued, you don't really know how to think straight. When we had some certain things happen about a few weeks ago here in America, I felt ungrounded for a while. And I don't get ungrounded. I'm very grounded. I walk all my animals all the time, and I was like, wow, I'm having a hard time figuring out where I am, how to be inside of myself and grounded and get things done and keep track of time. So there's all types of symptoms, but they can include that level of confusion or just feeling slimed. You just end up feeling slimed too.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask a little bit more about confusion, because so much of what's happening is manipulative and it has different agendas. And so there's deception involved in a lot of the messaging that's out there. And so then that can be really destabilizing our sense of like, what do we ground in? What do we know is true? And when people don't have that grounding, it can really lead to a lot of spinning out. Maybe share more about what you see and energetically happening.
So we're primed right now to be manipulated by digital technology, by group mind, by institutions, even by these negative forces, if you would, or the negative characters. If you just examine, and we go back to this a lot, but it's a very kind of important comparison in many parts of the world. If you go back to what was happening, say in Germany back in the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, there was some confusion. I'm going to the word confusion. What are we supposed to believe in? Can you trust the governments or not? Who should be in charge? We've got a lot of the same conditions. People don't know what's my value system? What should be a good collective value system? Who should we follow? Can you trust anybody? And so the antidote to what's happening right now is for each person to spend some time saying, what is my value system? What do I believe in spiritually? And I don't care if people come up with religion, spiritual qualities. Ironically, it's the time that we need to deepen into our own spiritual belief system and hold true it and keep it very simple. That's the personal antidote to keep ourselves kind of flushed with what some people in the spiritual consciousness, sort of movement called, the white light. I'm going to stay in goodness. And then how do I act it? How do I live it? How do I express it? What do I read? Because of that. Because back in the Hitlerian time period, there was a confusion in Germany. People were like, we can't believe in anything. So they were very easily manipulated. And they're even by energies and entities. Hitler said, I have an entity. I listen to the entity. He was actually in the trenches during World War I, and he heard a voice say, get out of the trench. And he did. And everybody else was killed in the trenches. So he began to be, sort of manipulated by greater forces, you could say, than just human forces. So we have a lot of that going on in the world right now. It's not about doing exorcisms. It's about being really clear on, I know who I am. I know what my spiritual values are. I'm going to stay with those and make decisions based on them. That's ultimately the antidote for each individual.
Mm. That makes total sense. And so let's bring in the ninth chakra, which I don't know a lot about myself. So maybe share about why the ninth chakra is really essential for this kind of truing of our own energy system in the midst of all this noise.
All right, so most of us work with the seven chakra system, but that system was introduced in the 20s and the 30s, and by Arthur Avalon, John Woodruff, and he even said there aren't just seven chakras. So I work with the 12 chakra system. It's expanded. The ninth chakra shows up in many cross-cultural systems. I think it's the most valuable one for this antidote to what's happening digitally. It's gold. It is about 2 feet over the head. It's a chakra of harmonizing. It helps us harmonize our soul with other souls with higher truths. But it's even more important than that. It's almost like a collection of our own spiritual genes or quantum codes. And they tend to show up like symbols when people interact with this. I have seen so many miraculous and down to earth changes and healings and resilience provided to people when they download these codes actually into their subtle and physical body. One of the first times I taught the ninth chakra, I was teaching a class. A man showed up. He was good with the meditative techniques that I was teaching, but he was like, this just seems airy-fairy. This ninth chakra, it's out of the body. I like the in-body stuff. And he said, okay, but I'll work on it. And the day after I taught it, his neighbor, who had a dog named Teak, was going to put the dog down. And the dog was biting people. The dog was sick all the time. The dog was a rescue dog. Yeah, it was just right there on the edge. And my student said to the next door neighbor, would you just give me a week? I'm going to do healing twice a day on the dog, just like sending good energy. And then I'm going to also download these codes from your dog's ninth chakra into the dog. 3-4 days later, she goes over there. She says, what are you doing to my dog at night? He goes, well, that's when I'm downloading these codes. And she said, well, the dog just falls over. It must be the same time you're downloading these codes for like 20 minutes, right? He goes, yeah. The dog eating food falls over, running around the yard falls over. But at the end of the week, the dog was healthier, super smooth, cool personality, didn't bite anybody after that, was well, emotionally balanced. We need these codes in our body to have our optimum life. Doesn't mean perfect life, but it means our optimum life. And I've been helping people download these literally quantum codes. I like to download them and create patterns with it. We'll talk about that in a minute too, because they're just do more quicker. In order to have resilience, in order to smooth out our DNA, in order to have the energetic field that we need to heal from the digital trauma we've already gone through. But when I work interdimensionally, also, it's to have resilience for what's to come, because it's going to get worse. We're just going to have more and more of what's already happening.
Amazing story with the dog and
Isn't
the
it great?
codes.
Because the dog doesn't know. The dog
Yeah,
doesn't know what's
it's
happening.
like you take out the placebo effect there with the dog. So
I do.
so let's talk about the downloading. So what is it you're actually doing when you're sort of downloading these codes from out of your body into your body?
Well, it's really simple, actually. It's just, I let the guides do all the work. Whatever you believe in, your own spirit, your own higher self, it can do all the work. So the picture is opening up through the top of the ninth chakra, which in other cultures shows up as kind of an overspirit or a luminescent or an oversoul type of a chakra, and just bringing down the highest of energies possible down through the ninth chakra, over the head, into the body, and all the way down. And it's interesting because if you study like the Hindu path of enlightenment, it speaks to how there is a downward motion after you start working through your issues. Shiva, this energy comes down and actually starts to create substances. One of them is called Amrita, a golden nectar in the body that starts to awaken the higher hormones and substances in the body that come all the way down and literally turn on I like the word resilience. I know it's overused, but also other hormones in the body and healing properties in the body. So it's sort of the back end of enlightenment in many not taught Hindu spiritual tracks. So we're following the path of the ancients also to open up and bring these codes in because they literally alter, I believe, the body's substances and enable more electrical magnetic activity. And there's a whole bunch of other things they do. I could bore you with the science, but it's fascinating, kind of what this sort of enlightenment spiral is that starts to happen inside of the body.
Amazing. I feel like you always open up these whole new worlds of understanding. And so once you've got the downloads happening into your body, what do you do with them in terms of creating the realignment of the patterns in your body to sort of reflect that some of those higher codes?
Well, they're quantum, so they're faster than the speed of light. And we don't know if quantum actually moves faster than the speed of light, but we know data can be quantumly connected and move faster than the speed of light. So they just sort of land and then the body takes it over. I encourage people to maybe every few days just kind of check in, reassert themselves, maybe see more of this gold energy coming down, but it's downloaded pretty instantaneously. The data of it just makes its way into wherever it's supposed to be, into the brain glands and organs, endocrine glands, the cellular tissue, your DNA. I mean, that's what's wonderful about working with quanta and working that way, because there's a science to it and there's ancient spirituality that reinforces the impact as well.
That makes total sense. So how does I want to bring in the ninth dimension as well. You have all these like deeper understanding. So how does the ninth dimension relate to the ninth chakra? And then let's talk about that, working with that.
So for the past couple of years, I've really been also working with the interdimensionality of the human body and the universe. Several years ago, there was a Blue Brain project that said, you know what? We are electrically firing in at least 11 dimensions mathematically at the same time. It's like, wow, the body's interdimensional. There's these interesting quantum theories about little strings inside of us that make us interdimensional. A dimension is a doorway. It's an electrical pattern and mathematical pattern in the body, but it's also a consciousness space. And there's actually biological research happening where scientists are trying to figure out, for instance, what's the right quantum pattern, say, for your liver? Because if we can figure that out, we can tell if it's broken, if it's not right, and then maybe we can use quantum computing to repattern the liver and heal the liver. So there's biological, kind of progression. It's going to take forever for science to actually get that into kind of medical institutions as well. So I've been working with different dimensions and the different meaning of them, which you can research that too. The ninth dimension is very interesting because it has to do with the future. It's called kind of a doorway into future branching, so potential branchings. So when we know in something like digital overload, digital overwhelm, digital trauma, we have AI coming up. I have no idea how tough it's going to get, but it's going to get worse and worse. The manipulation, the exposure, the EMF toxicity, the questioning that we're going to be going through, the impact on our electrical and energetic system. So I have found the best way to deal with current trauma and our, sort of the problems we're already having that have been implemented in our electrical system and our energetic system is ninth chakra codes. But if you open up also the ninth chakra doorway, the guides there can help turn those codes into patterns. We want to fix with patterns because that will fix broken patterns and really quickly set up new systems for ourselves. Guides from the future can say, we know what's coming. Let's construct these ninth chakra codes into patterns that we can bring all the way through the system that are future forward, that can protect you from wherever we're heading over the next 5-10 years in terms of digital technology and the damage that it might cause. So we can fix the problems that are already there because of digital trauma and abuse. There's digital abuse, and be protected for what's to come. The head doesn't need to get involved because we're never going to figure out where AI is going to go. Certainly, there's going to be benefits with medical science. And it's interesting if you even look up AI use in energy healing and intuition, there's some really cool stuff coming down the pike too that AI can help us with. But we have to be future protected, from the potential manipulation that is also going to be landing, and pretty quickly too.
So many layers in what you're sharing. I want to create some space now for you to take us through a bit of a guided process to experience more of what you've been sharing about, and then we can talk about it afterwards.
So beautiful. So this is a guided meditation. And just so people know what we're going to be doing, we're going to be centering in what I like to call a divine chamber within the heart chakra, activating healing energies. Allow ourselves to bring in the ninth chakra codes with the guides from the ninth dimension, helping to bring in all the patterns that we need. So it's actually very simple. It's very quick. So I encourage everybody as they follow along, just to sort of relax. You don't have to figure it out. You can just allow the changes to happen because your own spirit, your own essence, your own higher self is going to be in charge. So only positive can come from this. All right, so everybody just take a couple deep breaths, breathe into your body. Inhale and exhale. And trust. You've been breathing since the moment you were born. Your body knows how to breathe. And that with each in-breath, you're able to take in whatever it is you need. And within each out-breath are the energies you're ready to let go of. And so in that trust of your own breath and your own body, bring yourself, bring your consciousness, bring your awareness into the very center of your chest, the very center of your heart chakra, and just relax. Just for a few minutes. You don't have to be thinking, in charge of everything. Within here is a divine chamber in which your own essence, your own higher self, your own spirit is knowingly and constantly interweaving with, dancing with whatever you call presence, the divinity, the universe, the highest, the great spirit. From this vantage point, you can simply allow and ask for any healing energies, streams of grace or love that creates more love to be made available for the process that we're going to go through. And these are already activated and emanating from inside of you to out and outside of you to in. And then go another level of relaxation and trust. You can trust your own spirit. You can trust that the guides that are present are here for your best interests and the best interests of those you love, as is the greater one. And then just for a moment, still in a place of peace and ease, just ruminate for a moment about what we've been talking about digital abuse or digital trauma, and give permission just for a few moments for your body or your inner self to give you an indication of perhaps how you've already been injured or harmed, without any judgment on yourself. Just get a sense if there's an uptick in your heartbeat, your breathing, any places of pain or shakiness or emotions. You get to heal that. You'll be invited to allow a healing of everything you've gone through and the receivership of protection future forward. And with that in mind, just know that these healing energies already available are already being applied in service for you. And stretch upward with your awareness beyond the top of your head. You're still going to be grounded and safe within your body, and you get to stretch upward to a couple feet above your head, and there is an energy body, a gold energy body. It's beautiful, it's luscious, it's safe. And you find yourself in the center of it. That's your ninth chakra. That's like your over chakra. And let yourself just become comfortable in here, the movements of it, the safety, the harmony that its energies provide you. And however they make themselves known, you can invite forward also the recognition of different codes in here, different symbols. They're like your spiritual genetics. You might sense them just like these sparkles around you. You may hear some of them or get a sense of tones or hums. These are your soul's linguistics, or you might even get some images of colors or numbers or archetypes. These are representations of the quantum codes that need to be in you, within you, and around you for your optimum life. And they perform healing. And in specific, it's like those that need to be summoned and called to help you heal from digital trauma are just sort of lining up. But before we bring them in, right above the top of this ninth chakra, you're going to sense a doorway open, a space open. You feel very safe. It's a portal. It's a gateway. And literally what's being opened up are the heavens, kind of a sublime space. And higher guidance is creating for you also a doorway into and to make available the ninth dimension. And before I further explain it, I just want you to have a sense of what even happens in your body with that portal opening, that gateway. It's through this, what is made available are the best of all possible futures. And everything will begin to happen quickly. I'm still going to walk you through the steps for the guides appointed to assist you by your spirit, by the greater spirit. In and through this doorway are already working with the ninth dimensional guides to formulate patterns, blueprints from the ninth dimension. These are future forward protections for digital overload and abuse. And those are kind of being moved down into the center of your ninth chakra to become adjoined with your own personal codes. So everything's getting customized for you, for both repair from whatever you've gone through and protection for the future. And you may even feel this sort of movement and shaping in this milieu Even as you take another deep breath in, and on the exhalation, the heavenly energies send these beautiful patterns, glittering patterns, down through the ninth chakra, through the top of your head, all the way down through your brain, through your neck, into the entirety of your body and out, even to your feet and under. And you receive healing, this expansive restoration, ease. And because quanta is across time and space, you're automatically going to begin to feel safer and safer and more secure in regard to pretty much everything in your life, including digital media, because you're also being protected for what's to come. An increase of resilience, intuitive intelligence, energetic boundaries, so that even if you become aware of that which is not good for you, you're automatically healed and prepared or invited in what to do, how to respond, if you should be speaking, or just move away from something. The body is designed empathically to respond before something even happens without having to engage the brain. That ability is increased in you. And so, with a sense of gratitude toward yourself for not only healing to catch up with what's been done, but being prepared, know that you will simply be transmitting these patterns, these codes, this beauty, this elegance and grace from this point on. Settle back more deeply into that chamber within your heart chakra, within yourself, within your center. And literally feel this renewed or even new sense of safety, ancient wisdom made modern, you safe, and in a continual healing process. Take a few deep breaths, return to your sense of your body, and just sense, just accept if there's any kind of response in your body, any tingling, ease. That will continue. Quantum allows the exchange of data faster than the speed of light. You will continue to repair and be created into even more wholeness, moment to moment. And then open your eyes when you're ready.
Good medicine for this moment. Jeez, thank you. That
It's
is,
gold medicine. It's lovely, isn't it? I
yeah,
feel tingly, and I've done this before and I feel tingly.
yeah, yeah. I think it's particular. I mean, I'm with you that I've been knocked off center more than I is typical. Like I'm usually pretty centered and grounded, and world events have really been knocking me around more. So just this getting this higher download really feels so vital for all of us.
It is. It's an antidote. It's a medicine. I love working with the dimensions, like that ninth dimension, future forward. It doesn't pay to sit and fret or worry about what's to come. Just know that we're already safe in regard to it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really great. Well, what else do you want to share about sort of, so we've talking about this as interdimensional psychic healing. What are the other dimensions of working with in this way that really help to clear out some of the old patterns, download the new codes, and really prepare us to sort of be clear, conscious, grounded emissaries for the new world that's coming, even while a lot of the old world is doing its thing.
Well, and it's neat because we've always been interdimensional. So I love that science is finally catching up, to what ancient healers have always known. So I'm very excited for an upcoming program in which we're going to be doing, interdimensional work. Because there's a 0 dimension, which is one of my favorite. And then I love working with additional 12 dimensions because each of them affords a different kind of mystery, a different kind of shift, a different kind of change. So for instance, we know that we're 3rd dimensional, which is structure. It's the cube, it's our structure, but we can change patterns through the 2nd dimension. The 7th dimension is where we can interconnect with different kind of beings and naturally understand them no matter how it is they're talking, whatever their languaging is. So, I've created a course that I'm really excited about because I think it's the course for the times. We need to be able to become our most psychic self. We need to be able to be of our highest intelligence. We need to have our ancient abilities woken up. And so we're working interdimensionally in order to do that through the chakra system, because each chakra has its own set of psychic strengths, its own set of intuitive strengths. But we also need to keep healing and recovering. So when we're working interdimensionally, we can apply a chakra to a very specific dimension that has a specialty that we can best afford through that chakra to wake up our powers to become more aware, because we do need to be more aware. We need to have our powers activated. They may be very unique to us, but there's still specialties within the chakras. And then with these dimensional patterns, we can turn around and do a deeper level of healing from the different types of traumas that we've all gone through in this life or any other life, to be honest. So interdimensionality really affords let's turn on our powers because we do need them these days. We've got to be more aware. We have to be helping ourselves. We have to be more connected to the guides and to the wisdoms that are available to us. But we also keep needing to heal from trauma, or we're going to keep getting more traumatized by the stuff that's happening in the world. So I'm very excited to apply interdimensionality to, kind of chakra-based activations and healings. I mean, let's just go for it. Right? We're running out of time. We've just got to turn everything on.
Turn it all on. Well, let's talk more explicitly about your upcoming course, which we've alluded to a few times now. So Cyndi is teaching this brand new course. It's really timely for this moment and really important advanced teachings for navigating the digital trauma, collective trauma, all those sort of levels of manipulation going on in a clear way. So it's called Interdimensional Psychic Energy Healing. Activate higher intelligence to heal trauma, restore your body, and reclaim your future. And you can find it at the URL interdimensionalenergyhealing.com, interdimensionalenergyhealing.com. This is a 7-week program. You don't have to have any prerequisites. Cyndi will lay the foundations for you to really activate these latent abilities and activate some of the deeper codes that can help you in this moment. So Cyndi, I'd love for you to share in your own words some of what you intend for people to come away with, and then let's go through the modules.
All right, higher powers. Let's turn on our intelligence. Thousands and thousands of years in the Hindus and the Jewish mystical culture and the Greeks would say, we humans have been about this for at least 4 ages. And we could potentially usher in a 5th age of peace, a potential 1,000 years, but we have to have these types of abilities open to do that. We have to be able to be in touch, I think, with our own personal access to clairaudience or receiving guidance or giving guidance, to clairvoyance, or kind of being part of the dream world, to using our first chakra in order to manifest. And so that's really what we're focused on, is turning on, like you're saying, our own latent or innate capabilities, and then going another level to do some deeper healing. So we can be part of that community of souls that can usher in a time of peace. So that's really what we're looking to do. And it's actually really simple. We went through the guided meditation. You didn't really have to do anything. You don't. I mean, the chakras are already there. We're already interdimensional. intentionality and making a decision and working with the guidance that would love to help us, that's really easy. So even though we're using a lot of like science words and, kind of like spiritual languaging, the processes are easy.
Module 1, activate your cosmic powers through the zero dimension to break free from inherited trauma. 10th chakra.
So 10th chakra is underneath the ground. It holds our ancestral trauma, which is very hard to deal with because we inherit it, and it's in our bones. It's in what they call the epigene. The zero dimension, I actually love working with this zero dimension. It's a point. And so what we're first activating and healing, in regard to that first module, is let's be who we really are. Let's clear ancestral trauma. Let's turn on the kind of environmental powers, earth-based powers that are our own, and just get going with it. The zero dimension is just a point. You're really exchanging a real, I would say when we inherit from our ancestors, some of the stuff is good, but you can't hold on to the bad stuff. So that's what we're really getting rid of in that first module.
Module 2, galvanize your extrasensory bodily and creative senses to repair your biological systems, first and second chakras.
So first chakra is very physical. We have to turn those powers on to manifest, to make things happen, to have a healthy physical body. Second chakra in the abdomen is creativity, it's feelings. How many of the feelings that you're feeling are even your own feelings instead of what you've been absorbing? Very fundamental chakras to both heal, kind of the result of biological or physical traumas, and to turn on those gifts. Because then you can show up in the world and create the life that you're designed to create.
Module 3, accelerate claircognitive and heart healing powers to achieve psychological balance, third and fourth chakras.
So these are exciting chakras to shift. That third chakra is all about your mentality, personal power, work success, and the heart is heart. It's about healing. So we're opening to the dimensions related to these. The third dimension is, kind of constructive. It's very physical. We're going to recover from psychological trauma, open to the fourth dimension, which clears negativity across time. So get rid of hanger-oners, entities, energies that aren't good for us, kind of all at once during one module.
Module 4, electrify your clairaudient powers for authentic communication and digital protection, fifth dimension.
So we're going to be going back into what we were just working on, digital trauma and recovering from it, and opening up the clairaudience, the ability to bring through messages. We're also going to work with another chakra. It's sometimes called the Brahmarandra, sometimes called the Bindu. It activates all your higher senses at the same time. And so we're going to be working on recovering from everything we've been talking about, kind of at another way, in another direction during module 4.
Then we have module 5, switch on clairvoyant and prophetic powers to create your best future, sixth and seventh chakras and dimensions.
So sixth chakra, very helpful to work with. It's visions, it's picture. It's also about futuring. Seventh chakra, that's the place of prophecy. That's where we get into our destiny. And so we're going to be accessing the different dimensions that are going to help us clear what we've internalized in terms of trauma, what we've taken in that's clouded our sense of who we are, and clean that and turn on these very highly regarded psychic senses, getting pictures, knowing things, being attuned consciously.
Module 6, download mystical codes to release compulsions and restore wholeness, eighth and ninth chakras.
So these are really fun to work with. We just did a little bit with the ninth chakra. The eighth chakra is about a step out of the body. It's your mystical portal to all kinds of realms and dimensions. It is about your mystical shamanic self. We just worked with the ninth chakra. We're going to work with it again through the eighth and the ninth, through the dimensions that we were just, one of them we were just interacting with, to kind of clean up history, bring in what's future forward. And we're also going to work during this to do what I call filling in missing forces. Many of our problems, from autoimmune disorders to addictions to allergies, come from neglect, from what we were not given. And that's very, very hard to figure out what you've been missing and to fill it in. That's ultimately what we're going to be doing during that module. And I find people make huge strides in their lives when they get what they've never been given. That's positive.
And finally, Module 7, elevate miracle powers to fully embody your soul, 10th to 12th dimensions, 11th and 12th chakras.
So higher dimensions, these are about oneness and individuality and the miraculous, but the 11th chakra is really fun to work with. We command natural and supernatural powers through the 11th dimensions. People love turning that one on in your own way. I'm not saying we're all going to be weather shaman and change the weather at will, but you can move energies around your body. You can command to you that which is in alignment with your higher soul, and your 12th chakra is unique to you. So in this module, you're going to be activating gifts or powers that are yours and yours alone, and working with the higher, the higher dimensions in order to do that.
What an amazing program. It just breaks so much interesting new ground and fascinating, really healing codes for this moment. So again, the whole program is laid out in more detail at interdimensionalenergyhealing.com. So I'll share a few other things about it. So if you choose to move forward, you're going to get the 7 90-minute live sessions with Cyndi, each of which is described, have powerful exercises you do together. There's Q&A time that's live. You also get recordings of every session with both video and audio, which allow you to go back and do the practices again and really embody the codes that she'll be teaching. There's also word-for-word transcripts. There's weekly exercises and practices. There's a community to support you and deepen your experience, as well as small group time to work with other participants. And before we close, I want to share something special with you. For those of you who are feeling a deeper resonance with this work, Cyndi is going to offer an extended professional training program called Advanced Interdimensional Psychic Energy Healing that you'll have the opportunity to explore. We won't be going into all the details here today, but once you enroll in this course, you'll be able to learn more about this expanded journey designed to support you in truly embodying and working with this intelligence in your life. And if you do feel called to continue with Cyndi, you'll receive a $100 discount toward the full training when you choose to step into that next level now. And on the page, you'll also see there are a number of extra bonuses, each of which is designed by Cyndi to enhance the journey. There's a video recording called Coming Out Intuitive, Self-Acceptance. Want to share more about that?
Yeah, that's an interview, a discussion between myself and an internationally renowned psychic, Scott Clover, whose big teaching is, look, you've got to own your powers. It can be embarrassing to do that, but you need to do that. So it's a discussion about that.
The second bonus is called Everyone is Psychic, Tips for Awakening Your Intuition. This is a video by Cyndi. You want to share more about that?
Yeah, and that's a discussion between myself and an author of 10 different books, Melanie Barnum, who's an expert at all the different psychic intelligences, which is a great setup for talking about what we're going to be activating during our class.
Great extra bonus as well. And then there's one final bonus you get if you sign up right away by midnight tonight Pacific time. This is called Journey to the Center of the Earth Through Your Grounded 10th Chakra. This is a video recording from Cyndi, goes deeper into that 10th chakra, which I don't personally know a lot about. You want to share more there?
Okay, this one's just really fun. So the 10th chakra is underneath your feet. Sometimes it's called the Earth Star chakra. And I have found people really revitalized when they go down through that chakra into the core of the earth, and meet the type of beings down there that can afford support for them and then bring that energy up. It's sort of Jules Verne-like, which I think we could all use, a little bit of fun fantasy and get some benefit from it too.
Really cool. Well, that's a great extra reason to sign up right away. So clearly this is going to be a totally eye-opening, groundbreaking, chakra-opening program. Cyndi just really teaches very advanced material, but in a fun way that's fun and engaging and embodied as well. So you're in for a treat and in for a deep healing if you choose to move forward. We've kept the investment very accessible. It's just 3 payments of $128, or you can save 10% when you pay in full with 1 payment of $349. The course is going to start April 30th and run Thursdays at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. Even if you can't make the live times, though, you will get the full value with the recordings, the transcripts, and the community as well. So there's some great testimonials on the page. Cyndi has taught many programs for Shift. She's very beloved. She's very trustworthy, and you are going to be in great hands and experience really profound benefits from all that she teaches. So we're very confident about that. And again, it's all at interdimensionalenergyhealing.com. And you get that special bonus by midnight tonight, which is Journey to the Center of the Earth through your grounded 10th chakra. So, Cyndi, eye-opening, heart-opening, you're just always a revelation to be with. So thank you for today. Anything else that you want to share about the upcoming course?
No, it's my pleasure. It's just my pleasure. We already have these gifts. Why not turn them on? Quantum means quick. So it's sort of a stress-free way to start shining more.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Cyndi, and thank you all for joining. And again, all the details for Cyndi's upcoming course are at interdimensionalenergyhealing.com, and you'll get that special 10th chakra bonus when you sign up today. So thank you so much.